I'm looking at the list of grievances earlier today. It's long.
Yep,
Where do you start?
Well, I think you start at the fact that this is the FBI that investigated moms and dads showing up at school board meetings, said they were part of some terrorist element out there. This is ridiculous. This is the FBI that the Richmond field office put out a memorandum saying if you're a pro-life Catholic, you're somehow radical. This is the FBI that spied on a presidential campaign. This is the FBI that raided the home of a former president. This is the FBI that was cited 8 days ago, on July 4th, in the federal court opinion from the Western District of Louisiana, cited as involved in censoring American free speech rights. So those will be questions we ask about, I'm sure. But this is also the FBI that wants a new headquarters. The very people that they censored, they want them to pay for them to get a new headquarters. And the FBI that wants Section 702 of the FISA law reauthorized, even though they illegally scrutinized 204,000 times. They illegally queried that database. So there's lots of things we need to ask Christopher Wray about. I hope he's forthcoming. I hope he gives the answers to those questions and doesn't stonewall like he's done on some other things.
All right, I think that's 10 topics. Dana?
Well, we have an excerpt from Director Wray's opening statement. I won't read the entire thing, but the gist of it basically is that he's going to want to focus on what he says is the work the men and women of the FBI do to protect the American people. It goes way beyond the one or two investigations that seem to capture all the headlines. Take violent crime. Last year alone, the FBI arrested more than 20,000 violent criminals and child predators, an average of almost 60 bad guys taken off the streets per day, every day. We've already seized hundreds of kilograms of fentanyl this year alone, or the thousands of active investigations we now have into the Chinese government's efforts to steal our most precious secrets. And that's just scratching the surface. I would imagine, sir, that you agree with all of those things, and especially the men and women on the line. So there's going to be agreement there. And how can you figure out a way to get him to not just talk about that, but to answer the actual questions that you have on oversight?
Well, he's going to get pressed by Republicans on the real questions, the questions the American people have. Dana, there's 4 out of 5 Americans think there's a double standard, a two-tiered system at the Justice Department. They think that because there is. That's the concern. It's not the rank and file people. Those guys are busting their tail doing good work for the American people. In fact, 2 of those guys who retired now work for House Republicans on the Judiciary Committee. They provide us valuable insight, do great work for us. So we appreciate their efforts. The problems are at the headquarters. The problems are in the Washington field office. That has always been the concern. It's here in D.C. where the problems are, and those are where our questions are going to be focused.
Yeah, here's where the rubber kind of meets the road on this. Christopher Wray was appointed by President Donald Trump, a man that you're supporting to come back to the White House. Do you think in your heart that Christopher Wray is the guy that's driving a lot of your problems with that agency?
Well, this all happened under his watch. He's the guy who created the Foreign Influence Task Force. The Foreign Influence Task Force was cited in the federal court's opinion involved in censoring American speech. So this is the guy who's presided over when they raided President Trump's home 91 days before a midterm election. This is the guy who was presiding over the FBI when the Richmond field office put together this memorandum saying they were looking to put sources inside parishes, inside the Catholic Church to snitch on parishioners. You got to be kidding me. So this all happened under his watch. So I don't think it matters who appointed him or not. What we want to know is we want to know about all those things that have taken place, and we want them to stop, and we want them to give Congress the answers. Think about the 1023 form. He initially wouldn't even confirm whether it existed or not. Then he said, oh, it exists, but you can't see it. Then he said, oh, we'll let you see it, but only in redacted form. Finally, he let the committee see it in a SCIF. The whole country should be able to see that form. Just block out the person's name, the source's name, but let the country see, let the American people see what's going on here. So again, all those subjects I think are going to be brought up in today's hearing.
Can I ask you a quick question about the FBI headquarters? Ever since when I worked on the Hill way back when, they have wanted a new headquarters. So this has sort of been a long time in coming. There's an interesting idea that has got our attention, that there's a proposal that maybe this new FBI headquarters should be in Huntsville, Alabama. Why would that be?
20 of their 30 divisions are already there. They already considered a second headquarters. Someone even said there's an airstrip there so Christopher Wray and his private plane can land there if he needs to. I mean, why not move it? Why do you need to spend taxpayer money? The very taxpayers who you censored, they're going to pay for you to get a new headquarters in Maryland or Virginia? I don't think so. And the Speaker has been very clear that Republicans will not support money for a new headquarters here in the D.C. area.
Okay, sir, thank you for your time. We'll be waiting for it to begin at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Could go many hours today, and we'll be watching.
We'll be here.
Thank you, Jim.